Remind me though, isn't Fruit the only non-death hook right now?
I am not sure.
Oh, but you got the down here onto the knee. We do have to keep in mind that this survivor was just recently on the shoulders, and she slapped some.
The pickup!
Up across the way. That's the unbreakable. That's 1, 2. Now the question is, which way are the? No way. Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube, back with some more Blood Moon League action, and we are still in the group stage. So not only do set wins and match wins matter, but teams are still looking to score every single point possible to ensure that they're able to move on to the elimination round. So today we're going to be sitting in on the Ruby Wolves versus DKD, and we are going to be getting started off with one of my favorite M1 killers, as y'all know if you've watched my tier list video over here on the channel. So we're going to be getting started with the Oni on the Cold Tower. Then we're actually going to be going right back to the Cold Tower for set number 2 with the Nurse. And then if needed, the third and final set will be the Death Slinger on the Suffocation Pit. Don't forget to leave the video a like and a comment. Helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm. And we are chasing down 500 subscribers over here on the channel. So do me a favor, check down below. Make sure you've smacked that button and then tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. If you do want to keep up with what the Wolfpack has going on as far as the Blood Moon League or even just competitive DBD in general, as always, I'm going to have their link for their Discord down in the description below. But until we do catch y'all back here for some more competitive DBD action, or even just for some fun gameplay, as we do post some of that over here on the channel as well, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
Welcome in, everybody, to DKD facing Ruby Wolves on the Cold Tower with the Oni. It's Dub. Trouble coming out here as the captain of DKD, taking responsibility for his team and trying to get the first hit as quick as possible here. 30 seconds into the trial so far. He's playing the main building here. This is, I believe, Fruit, if I'm not mistaken. Screen share is a little pixel for me right now. So Q, who is it actually?
Yes, it is. Yes. No, yeah, I think that is Fruit right there. I'm kind of seeing the same thing we got, though. We are taking chase here. Yeah, that is Fruit here. Moving around the main building here. It does look like, though, because of the strength of this tile here at main, it is going to cause Dubtrub to actually go ahead and break chase here. I mean, we're now sitting around the 60-second mark. I like that decision, right? Don't want to spend too much time. What? What? I'm confused.
Interesting start here from our killer, going back towards the midsection. Now we do see the survivors are going in aggressively for these generators, now pulling back towards the shack. A great mix here, pressuring the gens and pulling back in time to reach the shack and the safe pallet over here. That shouldn't be a hit, especially with the pre-drop coming out right now. Dub trying to get the first hit here, but not going to find it. We can feel the pressure rising, right? 2 minutes almost into the trial. Corrupt intervention is expiring very soon here, and it does look like Dub is not going to hit the survivor anytime soon. Never mind, the great mind game onto Fats here, bamboozling him onto this jungle gym with the pre-drop pallet. That's a huge play for DKD here, getting the power in a few seconds here.
Yeah, that's really big here, because I was starting to worry a little bit for Dub, right? Like, after missing out on that opportunity to at least start the snowball of collecting the blood orbs when we were over at that 3 position, right? And then you were able to at least get, you mentioned the hit here on the Fats. It does look like we might still be using the power actually to stick around here to be able to secure the down, which may actually be allowing for a second, maybe even a third gen to be popping across the way. So, I mean, there's at least number 2 right now. You had talked about that pressure, Dub. Definitely feeling it right now. I mean, you've gotten at least the first use of your power, but you've got to at least get a down out of this use here. There it is. Wow, nice play.
You ask for it. Dub is delivering it right to you. There's the down onto Fruit. Really, really good use of the power here by Dub for DKD. First hook stage coming in, but he lost 2 generators, and right now the amount of blood is going to be reduced, except you find Fats. Interesting that the survivor is staying injured, so wherever Fats currently is, there's going to be such a blood bank for our Oni here. Scratch marks next to the hook. The survivor is going into the main building. This wall has been broken earlier though, so it's not the most safe tile, but Dub is rotating back towards this hook here, trying to catch an incoming rescuer. Now it's going to be interesting. Will Ruby Wolves go for this unhook, or are they slamming out the gens? It seems like the objectives are going to be the priority here. 3 of them already done, but Evie leaving quite late from this generator, but still in time, so Dub can't go for the hit here. Good play so far by Ruby Wolves. Now also with a perfectly timed unhook in time. They are looking really coordinated right now.
Yeah, right now the Ruby Wolves are looking very, very good. There is going to be another tag here as far as at this point, so you do have 3 injured survivors as far as across the board. But as for now, I mean, you know, you talked about, yeah, maybe left that generator just a little bit late up at the top right, but Dub did have to double back on the hook, so weren't able to take advantage of that. Then they were able to get the hit onto the lorry, but then still wasn't able to follow up to be able to get the down here at this point. But a very good job by Dub to be able to return back to this top right portion of the map, able to get the down here onto the Nia. And I do like this decision to go ahead and go for the immediate pickup plus the hook. It gets yourself another fresh hook here, which is an important point. You get yourself a pop, goes the weasel kick on this generator. Plus, since you had used so little of your power, you only need a couple of orbs to be back to having used that power again. And since you do still have a couple of injured survivors, you know that they're somewhere around the map where you can pick them up.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting if Dub is going far away from the hook, collecting the power here, pressuring the survivors of a generator potentially, or if he keeps going for the camp. In the first time of this trial, it didn't work out, and Ruby Wolves managed to save that in time and recovering from that early hook. And now it's going to be the same decision making onto Evie, and Dub once again leaving quite far from the hook here, but not 100%. He seems to hesitate a little bit between camping and going away from the hook here. And once again, Ruby Wolves with a perfectly timed unhook before second stage, getting the save here. And if this survivor is now staying alive for a little bit longer, that should be T there as well, then generator number 5 might come out for just 2 stages into endgame.
Yeah, this could be huge here. I mean, really, the Ruby Wolves just seem to have the answers for everything that Dub seems to be throwing their way, even when Dub just happens to leave it just the right amount of time, able to move in, get that save. We are going to be checking in on this generator, though, up at our top left. Doesn't sound like there's too much progress on it. Does sound like we are still probably our primary focus should be that generator up at our top right. I'm not sure if Dub happened to see somebody. We are going to go back into our Demon Dash, see if we can scour the land and find ourselves somebody to be able to put down onto the ground. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I think Ruby Wolves are just going to be stealthing out this power. Might not even be surprised to see them resetting it across the way as well.
Yeah, they have a good pressure on the generators, right? They can take the time, go for a reset here. Dub also running out of power any second, but he does expect them to be in this locker here. Really good game sense by Dub, now getting a hook stage. That is putting the pressure back onto the Ruby Wolves here. Now the pressure and the time you have put for yourself is going to be a lot lower here due to the hook stage you have to consider on 11 there. We do also see that a 3-gen is still in play here on the top side, so that's something Dub can make work for himself, especially in case he gets another power ready to go here. So the challenge for the Ruby Wolves is going to get this save and then rotating all the way back towards the bottom. We do see a reset coming out onto Evie. Their Fruit still injured, and we do see the blood pools over here. And if Dub gets the power with this with the 3-gen here before an unhook would come through, then Ruby Wolves is going to be in a difficult spot.
Yeah, something that I was just noticing here too, you know, although we can say that like the Ruby Wolves have been good as far as making sure that they're spreading the hook count in the sense of you don't have anyone quite yet ready to be like removed from the trial, right? The thing that we have to keep in mind that the 3 fresh hooks is going to be adding up to that perk that we do see down there in that bottom right-hand corner. So if we happen to find the Nancy here before we get into the end game, Dub has a whole additional minute after that last gen pops and after they get to the door before they have to worry about the doors actually being powered here. So this is going to be a chance for Dub to really be able to stack up some extra pressure in the late game.
And this is going to be now the chase onto this TNL here, the save coming through onto Dan, but I believe there was a second stage there on the lorry, so one survivor can also be eliminated from the trial really, really soon. And now Dub with the commitment towards the shack here, going for the power, and he will have a high mobility going back towards his 3-gen. The survivors need to pull back from the objectives in case they're not getting it done in time, and I would be surprised if that's going to be the case here. So the Wolves are going to hide, play this a little bit slower, unfortunately. Dub getting stuck there between the trees, not arriving at the top side as quick as he would like to, but he is keeping an eye on the generators now, and we can see Ruby Wolves pulled back all the way, hiding this generator here with roughly 40% progress. And now is going to be the question, where are they hiding? Potentially at the bottom side. Dub is checking on the edge map here on the top right side, now going back towards the front of main. I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves would actually hide out the entire power here.
Yeah, I mean, we see at this point, Dub is going to be checking just a couple of lockers, see if we can get lucky with the locker grab again. Isn't going to be the case, and that time, even with the Lion's Fang, is about to expire. So even with that additional 10 seconds there of the power from that add-on, not going to be able to get any value here as well. And we're also going to be seeing the reset across the way onto the lorry here. This is big. I mean, we've seen the Ruby Wolves do a very good job, like early, right? Like really like grinding out the gens, really pressing through those, but has also done a good job as well since the game has slowed down. And we had mentioned before coming into this matchup, but both of these are newer teams, and I feel like sometimes that's where newer teams can kind of get like thrown for a loop, right? You're running at a good pace, and all of a sudden you have to slow it down and play it patient. And some teams struggle with that there, as we're seeing the Ruby Wolves really doing a good job of it. So they're going to keep putting this pressure, leaving these gens early. I mean, we see 2 survivors leaving this generator up here at the top left position, but I mean, you can kind of understand the pressure that Dub's feeling. Like, you don't want to push up into this bottom side of the map, but at the same time, especially seeing as we might just have to do it just to get another hook stage, right?
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tricky here. Whoever gets the next mistake, we could say, if the survivors are making a mistake here, handing out the next down quite quickly, or if Dub is going to overcommit to a chase away from the generators, might be in a very, very good position here, because having the 4 stages into endgame would still be a really, really good result so far for Ruby Wolves. But they need to watch out they're not overcommitting to these generators and they're not caught off guard once again in a locker or in a dead zone here. This is going to be the mind game around this jungle gym here. We do see the survivor with the slow vault, I believe, over the window, now rotating back towards the bottom side. The hit not coming through. A few seconds left onto the power here, roughly in 15 seconds. Is this going to be the down in time? That's the question though. 7, 6, 5 seconds left onto the power here. Last attack. 3, 2. This is not going to be a down for DKD. This is huge. We were talking about mistakes being made here. This works heavily in the survivor side's favor, and this is going to be so good for the survivors. They will now have a free pressure on the generators once again, and if they're leaving the objectives early, not handing out a hit too quickly, no way out also already triggered. There's going to be 3 stacks though. That's going to be 48 seconds working for you as DKD, but with 4 stages, the pressure is really high.
Yeah, I mean, and this is tough. I think DKD had noticed it. I was trying to move up towards that top left. Remember, last time we were up there, we had seen 2 survivors actually leaving the area. So it was kind of understandable why they were able to slam that thing out so quick. Already had someone armed up onto the door as well. We're sitting about 2/3. Ooh, gets done, stupid. Able to get plus 10 wood to the face, plus able to use the flashlight here as well. This is big time that we're standing back here by the shack. And I can't help but keep it, but notice where we're at on the map, because the doors are about to be able to be opened, which means then we could be looking at a hatch play for our last survivor as well.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really intense now with the No Way Out being expired. Ruby Wolves really mastered the strategy of staying hidden and keeping it slow with building up some pressure over time here. The potential last power for DKD and Dub Trouble is coming out right here. There's one survivor on this TNL mind game by Dub, not finding the survivor just yet. 50-50 on the TNL, once again working out in favor of our survivor here. 70% of the power remaining. Fruit with a good job on this TNL so far, gets the vault as well. There's not going to be the power. 50% of the power. Now this is going to be a nice flashbang for the killer here. Dub is losing track of the survivor for seconds. 40% of the power queue. This is literally a race between killer and survivor right now.
Oh, I think Ace left just a little. Oh, that's a swing and a miss. I thought Ace had left too early. Wasn't going to be able to make it over here towards the shack itself. Oh, I thought we were almost going to be able to make it. There's going to be the down, at least at this point, onto Fruit. Not going to be able to make it through the hatch. So that will be DKD at least securing a couple of more stages here in the end game. That's 2 stages that you'll be able to secure onto Fruit. That does mean we were still able to get a fresh out as far as for the Ruby Wolves as well. So, I mean, when we talk about overall, what are we looking at? 6 stages, not a terrible result, but honestly, I think for the start, other survivor here as well. This could spell disaster for DKD here.
Yeah, it looks a little bit chaotic, right? And that probably is the result from the pressure Cyber was able to put up here in the early game. 6 stages as a win condition is rough when you do take an early hit, and this is going to be the down onto the rescue. And this is actually a double down because there's no BT in play for Team DKD. So a quick rehook into the 3rd hook stage already with 4 generators still standing, and the pickup here as the decisive strike is prohibited on the Oni as well. So this is going to be 4 stages for just 1 generator. That means 3 more, and Cyber is already through.
Yeah, and this is going to be big here because also you've got either the survivor that is on the hook or the survivor that just got taken off the hook. Either one of them, once they go back on the hook one more time, it turns it down to a 3v1, which slows the game down even more so than we've already seen thus far in the trial here. And this is big because Cyber 2 at this point, not only do you have a hook and 2 injured survivors, you've got to use the power armed and ready to go as well. And I think we have a decent little 3-gen on this bottom right corner of the map. I'm not 100% sure, but we have at least a decent spread as far as for the Ruby Wolves.
Yeah, let's say he can make
right,
that
you got
work
one though.
with this. Yeah, that's true. And with this pressure you currently have, the grab as well. DKD is not having a good day here in set number 1 against the Oni. This is pretty much the decision if Cyber is going for the full camp onto the Kate here. Very unfortunate chain of events there. Cyber really on point with the pressure. Quick down, power into a double down, and now a grab into the 3v1 elimination with a hooked survivor. 3 objectives yet to be done on the side of DKD, and if Kate is going into second stage here, that would be the decision in set number 1. So for DKD, it's important now to struggle free from that pressure and from that horrible early game here for set number 2, getting the head clear. But for Ruby Wolves, they are going to try to pull as many points as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think we always talk about momentum here, right? So even though you're talking at this point, the next stage does wrap up as far as set here. If you can talk about being able to shut things down and being able to wrap up the 4K here, or at least make it to where it's just an end game play that forces someone to get out the door, that'd be really big, especially too, because these survivors from DKD are going to have to come right back out onto the Nurse set. Now right back out onto the Cold Tower with a killer that is a lot more mobile and will be requiring a lot more communication and strategy than we typically see in an Oni game. So if you can put that pressure down before even entering the trial, plus having a 1-point lead, I mean, Ruby Wolves will be looking amazing.
Yeah, if they are finishing this here, maybe with a 4K even, they will go so confident into set number 2 with a big point lead as well. This is now going to be the decision. Kate or following the rescuer. We are just going for the tunnel onto Kate here and continuing the quick elimination here. The bamboozle is going to help the chase on this TNL because now Kate has to work with 1 window here. It's another vault with a bamboozle here, and this is going to be the down. Beautifully played by Cyber though, into a hit that is going to feel really, really bad for our survivor, though I do think that looked a little bit different on the screen of the DKD survivor here. But once things are going against you, even behavior is adding something on top of that and does give you the focus it into the back. The next survivor already located, Ghosty here on this TNL, and meanwhile we do see that hopefully another objective is being done, because you really want at least 4 generators here, right? Just for beautiful mind game here. DKD is not having a good day.
No, right. I mean, and I think right now, I mean, just it's a couple of small mistakes. It's not like they're huge, but what's big is the fact that Cyber is able to take those couple of small mistakes, right, and then really punish them the way that we have seen, I mean, time and time again, just through the course of this one trial here, whether we're talking about the double down at the hook, the grab at the hook, now going to be able to go for the slug for the 4K here at the end game. There's going to be at least the pallet broken. Even with the Lion's Fang, I don't think we're going to have enough time to be able to secure the down. However, you jumped into a locker and you're right here in front. Wait. Was that a deception play?
I think so.
Wow.
I mean, that the fact that they are pulling this in the difficult situation there, and that has some style. I have to give them that. The fact that you're pulling the deception play here when it's already decided and looking so bad for you, I really respect that. Unfortunately, the survivor doubling back into the killer here, being confused about the location of Cyber, and we now have Skyline, the final survivor in this trial, already located with the scratch mark. So this is actually looking really, really much like a 4K on 2 generators remaining. There's the deception once again. This time it's going to be expected, and a nice down here, wrapping things up in set number 1. And I have to say, DKD needs a serious turn of events for set number 2 if they want to put the pressure back onto the Ruby Wolves.
Yeah, talk about. I mean, this is one of those situations where we might need to write up a report or something. A perfect example of cyber bullying our killers here in trial number 2, getting the 4K here with only 3 gens complete. I mean, honestly, cyber just showing up to play. This is amazing.
And the difficult thing is, we just talked about how there were small survivor mistakes and Cyber was able to punish them, right? Now, in set number 2, we are going to stay in this constellation. DKD is going to continue on the survivor side. They won't have time to take a longer break here. And Cyber can take the confidence going into the Nurse set, as some background insider information are telling me that Cyber is playing again here. So since DKD is not getting a break or a trial space to re-plan the strategy to get the head clear and needs to immediately play again on the survivor side, what are you trying in this short break here?
I mean, I think the important thing that is you have to sit down and you have to start back from scratch. Sometimes this is one of those situations where it really works in your favor, right? To have like a very bad short-term memory, you know what I mean? Just wipe it off the table, because in this next trial here, you can't win this matchup, but you can lose this matchup by making it very hard on your killer if you come out and you're not able to get at least a reasonable win condition, right? So you want to make sure that from the word go, your communication's on point. And I think the biggest thing is you want to make sure that no one's spirits are too low. That way, even if the first chase doesn't go your way, you're still able to fight through it through the rest of the trial.
Yeah, it is going to be a huge fight for DKD here. Ruby Wolves taking the first set point with a very impressive score of 44-21 after the first set on the Oni. So shaking the pressure of coming back fresh and from zero. That's going to be the challenge for DKD here. We are going to find out if they can manage to do so against the Nurse of Ruby Wolves after a short break. Welcome back, everybody, to the second set between Ruby Wolves on the killer side and DKD on the survivor side. 1-0 for the Ruby Wolves, and DKD needs a serious turn in this series to make sure that the pressure is flipping back onto the Ruby Wolves. First survivor is getting located a couple of seconds into this trial, but also taking the hit now. 30 seconds so far. If this is going to be a quick chase, that is going to be a really good start for Cyber, and it's coming through.
That is a huge down here. We're talking around the 45-second mark here. You've got yourself a down. We should be able to rotate this hook as well to be a little bit more central, which means Cyber should be able to pretty well pressure whatever gen they want, while also being able to quickly peek back in on this generator over here as well. And especially since the fact that we do still have Ruin in play from Cyber, gotta be feeling good here.
One thing I just noticed is that Behavior still haven't fixed the Nurse chase music. That is something I would really love to see in the future here. But yeah, the pressure is on point from our killer here, same as in the Oni set, coming out into the trial, locating a survivor, being strong with the prediction. And that is impressive because Nurse is played so different to an Oni, right? So you, as a killer player, you also need to change your mind and the way of play style a little bit around. Now, interesting that he's not going for the survivor in the map corner there and going back towards the unhooked survivor. I feel like that would have been a very quick tag onto the survivor. Now losing a generator, and now where you went all the way cross map to prolong this tunnel out here, it needs to be a quick down.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Ooh, well, then that happened. But yeah, unfortunately, I was going to say also, too, when you push away from the... Oh, but she slaps him with the D, says drop it. Going to be able to at least extend this chase a little bit longer. But by breaking away from the corner, right, is what you're going to be able to do is that survivor's not working on anything. You don't allow the heal, so you are able to continue the tunnel out. Not only did you take away at this point one of the second chance perks being the decisive strike, which means you can just tunnel at will here, but now also you've got one person a step closer towards elimination. So I'd say overall, I think things worked out in Cyber's favor.
Yeah, it's with the elimination being possible with the next hook stage here, things are looking really good. We do see a use of a Lithe over there at the jungle gym away from the generators. You have taken out that exhaust perk for a little bit as well, keeping an eye on these generators around him here, trying to chain these two generators with the main building into a 3-gen. We have to mention the Hex Ruin is also still standing here right next to the hook, so this is something Cyber can defend together with the hooked survivor. Blinking over to this TNL, getting a quick tag onto Claudette here, so doing a good job on keeping an eye on the generators while camping this survivor into the second stage. But DKD going for a counterplay and trying to get the K towards the bottom side, and then great assist with the flashlight here.
Yeah, a really good job as far as from the assist. I mean, of course, the longer that flashlight sits there, that it's going to just eventually run out of juice here. And it's taking multiple people here to prevent the tunnel out. You need to be able to make sure that you can capitalize on it if you're DKD here, right? Not only would you like to see maybe a third gen pop, you would also prefer to find the ruin as well. That way, at least if you move into a 3v1, you don't have to worry about that passive regression every time you move away from the gens. But as you can see right now, that totem isn't really close to any of the gens, so it is going to require some very deliberate searching for.
And the loss of Kate here is going to be a huge misplay by Cyber for Team Ruby Wolves, because you have focused this elimination. You have left the survivor in the corner earlier, going cross map to make the tunnel out happen, and losing the Kate now, allowing DKD to stay with 4 survivors in the trial is going to be a huge backfire onto our killer here. DKD will stay with a full squad in the trial, allowing them to have an insane gen pressure here. The Hex Ruin is the good news for the killer. That perk still standing is going to make a difference here, but if they're taking out that Hex Totem very soon here, it's going to look rough for Cyber. And also we have 2 gens all the way towards bottom side, so the loss of Kate here is going to be a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and especially because not only were they able to get Kate to safety, right? You'll notice that all the way across the board, we've been able to get complete resets, which means at least currently anybody working on a gen is only slowed by 5%, now 10%, as we do find Kate back here by the shack. And it does look like Cyber's going to try and finish this chase relatively quickly here with Kate, as Kate does rotate more towards its back corner of the map, gets stunned, stupid, able to build a little bit of distance, but it is a nurse. They can just unfortunately blink right through the rock. Nice double back by Kate to be able to prolong the chase though.
And this is going to be really interesting how DKD is going to play this out here. Very nice double back by Celebs, and this is going to be the chase towards the top side. They are now going to take a quick down here, and it's going to be the full elimination onto this survivor now, but it is 3 minutes delayed in this trial. Unfortunately for DKD, we don't really see a punishment towards the killer for that. We don't see the generators being slammed, we don't see the Hex Ruin being taken out, and I do think DKD had to make more out of this potential chance.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is maybe if you've got at least a 4th generator close to completion. There it is there. Ooh, with the spicy dead hard there at the bottom of the stairs to be able to avoid the swing from Cyber here. Prolongs this chase just a little bit longer. Currently only a 5% slowdown onto the gens, thanks to only 1 survivor being injured here. And if they continue to take this aggro up towards this like bottom right side of the map over here, the direction that we're heading, this is away from those generators. There it is, generator number 5 getting complete. So they have been able to push back quite a bit. Now the question here from this point is, how many stages do you get out the door?
And this is going to be quite a difficult challenge for our killer now, because no way out and no one escapes. Death has been brought into the trial here, so our nurse was confident for a mid game and therefore not coming in with an end game perk. You do locate one survivor over here. Now DKD with the decision also, are they going for the unhook? This is going to be Ghosty, if I'm not mistaken. That should be a fresh hook, but unfortunately Cyber not finding the target onto the survivor over here. It's going to be some time being taken from the killer all the way back towards the main building here. Quick down coming out and the pick, so might be a 2 out on the other exit gate.
Yeah, the only thing though you can see as we turn to the right, that other exit gate is really close. Not sure if Cyber happened to do the right, rain dance here before the game to RNGs, but these doors are beautiful. You've got the hook right in between them too. I almost feel like if you're the survivors here from DKD, your best chance is to try and go the long way outside, at least with one survivor. Try and prime the door while sending the other one in for the safe. What? They hit the survivor that was on the hook. This is big.
This is really big and might be the chance for DKD to make another move. There's the flashlight into the BT. Ghosty getting some distance here. Is the door ready to go? They might have a balanced landing here as well. Cyber getting stuck. This is the jump from Ghosty towards the exit gate, and it's not ready to go. Claudette now being interrupted as well. This endgame is turning into such a back and forth. There's a firecracker coming in, but the direct blink onto Skyline at the window here. It's being the Claudette instead here, and now Cyber will try to force these survivors out of the door here to make sure that nobody is going for anything. The survivors being very confident here with the exit gate, just barely getting over there, blinking back towards Skyline now, because we do need to worry about a potential unbreakable as well. This endgame is actually really wild.
Yeah, this is very intense here, and also keep in mind this is a fresh hook survivor, so this is going to be some time to at least allow one of our survivors to heal, maybe a second one, and our survivor here, our survivor here that's on hook has plenty of hang time, but I also kind of understand not wanting to make the sacrifice, right? The door closer to you, I don't think was ready just quite yet. You don't want to sacrifice any additional stages because we are already looking at, was that 9 stages, is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be 9.
That's tough.
It's tough, right? For the survivors, it's tough because they didn't need to hand out that many stages, I feel like, but 9 stages is still a good result if you have a very confident nurse on your side.
Yeah, this is where I do get a little worried, though, is because, I mean, it was Ruby Wool's pick. I feel like if it was DKD's pick, I might feel a bit more. And granted, like most comp teams, they're usually scrimming both Nurse and Blight, so maybe they still have a strong Nurse on their hand itself. But I feel like if your Nurse was your more confident pick over your own, you would have picked that in set number 1. So it's going to be interesting to see here. They definitely need to respond as far as on the killer side. Make sure you're keeping everybody in, or at least only allowing, like 2 stages out the door. So we will see how both sides here respond for trial number 4 after a very quick break. 10 hooks or better here, essentially. Not going to be able to find our first swing onto our Nancy here. That's going to be Fat's able to get right out up into this top left portion of our map. Now the question is, does this allow the rest of our survivors from the Ruby Wolves to move towards our bottom side of the map, which is currently uncorrupted? And I don't know if that's the case, but they've at least already cleansed the ruins.
This is a good start in terms of the Hex Totem there, but Fat's going down next to the main building here. This is usually the side where you do have a good generator setup on the cold tower, and this hook in front of the main building might really support that here. We do see another survivor on the right side of main there. I'm not sure if our killer located that survivor. It doesn't seem like. We do see some scratch marks though here in this tunnel. A double back coming in by Dan, avoiding the hit. Now it's going to be the decision? Do you follow that survivor towards the shack side, or is this going to be the pop kick and the return towards the hook? It is going to be the safe decision in the perfect timing. Now going for the tag onto Fruit. They will get the unhook though, but it might be a trade or the tunnel out. So our killer here in a... Oh, the DH just in time there, but if Fruit is getting down quickly, our killer will be in a good spot, but he's forced to leave.
Yeah, and now you can't help but wonder, right? I mean, we saw Fruit very much dive bomb the hook, right? Like by themselves. If you allow Fruit to be able to get to freedom here and Fats to be able to get to freedom, not only are you not going to be able to continue the process of your tunnel out, but now you have to sit and worry in the back of your head, do I have a deliverance in play? This could be Ruby Wolves really building up some pressure here, kind of waiting to unload it in the later part of the trial.
Yeah, this is going to be rough because I feel like sticking to the ace wouldn't have been the worst decision, because now we have spent actually quite some time to get a tag onto any survivor here. Now we are in chase with Dan once again, but it is the healthy survivor, so you will need 2 tags. One is coming out quite quickly though. Nice double blank here onto the survivor. He's rotating over towards the main side again. Actually, never mind. Bamboozled even me as a caster here, and Minecraft is being played. A quick +5 stone there from the wall, and our survivors doing a really good job using this little tree here for a break of the line of sight here. Really strong. Dan is going down now, but if you ask me, Q, this was way too much time.
Yeah, this is a lot of time, and especially seeing as we have not seen one generator pop, it leads me to believe that we have multiple generators at or past 75%, which means we might be seeing a couple pop in here in succession. And if they've kind of been able to have... Oh, but we had 2 over by this gen, actually, which leads me to actually start to worry for the Ruby Wolves, because if we had that long of a chase and all we have is 1 gen plus the progress on this generator that's here at Pride Rock that 2 survivors was on, this could be trouble.
Yeah, this is not what we were expecting, right? A nice firecracker play here, but the generator pressure is not on point right now. We also see a reset in the distance, so 2 survivors are busy at the moment. Dan potentially resetting there with Eevee or Fruit. So now we have rotated towards the bottom. This is huge for the survivor team now, because the top side can be attacked freely, but 1 generator so far is indeed quite low.
Yeah, and especially this generator right here that's over at your 9 position here. It's going to be getting the pop goes the weasel. 25% instant regression here. Going to be seeing also instantly pushing across over here to that opposite side. No one there, but we do see not only is there a save, but of course that for the people, which we've been seeing really becoming more shifted into the meta for situations just like this, as we are going to be trying to find that tunnel out. And I think because of that process, decides to break chase and instead just monitor these gens a little bit more.
Kick onto this generator here. We see broken Eevee on the bottom side. She will potentially force to stay over there for a little bit longer. 3 stages, 4 generators left. We had a 9-stage game last match, and we do see our injured survivor being located here towards the shack. Our survivors are doing a really good job on carrying or pulling the killer back towards the bottom side here, but this allows the attack of top generators, right? If you pull the killer down here, where are those generators?
Yeah, it's a really good question, especially because you mentioned, yeah, you pull the aggro down here to the bottom side of the map, which allows you to attack the top side of the map, at least for now. But right now, yeah, now someone's going to have to leave the top side of the map, not be working on one of the gens on the top side of the map, and come all the way back towards Shack to be able to get a save. And we have only seen a second. There's at least a third over there to at least make sure they are able to get a third. But man, now we're moving. I'm guessing now is where we're going to see a little bit of a change. Oh, nice dead hard here. If you can pull this and now you hold your aggro on the top side of the map where you do have some resources available, because there hasn't been much chases until that happens, and now you got some on the ground.
Yeah, Fruit going down here on the main building is really, really... Oh, the basement being here as well. They're going for a reset once again. But what I'm starting to be worried about, resets are good, resets are important, but resets are taking time from the Survivor team. And we are talking about 9 stages. We are not talking about a Nurse game where the amount of generator will be the deciding factor for the win here. We are actually talking about a good game from DKD on the Survivor side in the previous trial. They're going far beyond being 4K'd and taking some stages out of the door here. So Wolves need to make sure that the pressure on the generators is coming in here. It is going to be the blink over here. This is Fats getting spotted. He will run down towards the shack side of the map, trying to pull the killer all the way away from the objectives here, and we need a 4th generator in exchange for this down.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it yet, because we do see that broken status on Fruit. We had mentioned that very early on, right? When Ace was able to get to safety and was able to get healed, there was that deliverance that came into value there, which means it shouldn't have been anybody rotating in for the save, which really makes me, again, worry more as far as for our gen repair. Also, I am starting to feel really, really bad for this generator over at 9. This thing's got pop goes the weasel, I think, like 5 or 6 times this trial.
There's generator number 4, 6 stages so far, Q3 more to go here for our killer. This is a quick one onto Fruit. That's going to be some additional stages here.
Head on.
I have... Oh, that was actually been a very nice move if that was going. I'm surprised though, I have to say that the DKD is not bringing No One Escapes Death here for the end game. They seem to be confident, but right now with 7 stages and a generator still standing, it does look like they're in a good spot with this pop kick here, also taking a quarter from a generator, knowing that one survivor was just here running towards the shack side now. And being not that far away from the remaining objectives, he might actually pull a 10-stage game here.
Yeah, I mean, right now you got to be feeling really good and in control, right? Especially because the 3v1, the snowball's a little bit different. Right now, while you have somebody rotating over for the save, while you had somebody injured, there was 0 generator repair getting done. And we did see that for the Peepo, which at least allowed for the tunnel out not to be the process here, but that still does mean that our Nia is injured and they are not able to be healed by that med kit that is in their hand. This is another hook state, and when we talk about last trial was 9 stages and this is stage number 8, you have got to start worrying a little bit here for the Ruby Wolves.
And this is now, yeah, they basically need to pull this, get the last generator, and then go for the outs without taking any further stages. I do think if Evie is dying Q, there might be a tie on the Nurse set here. So it will come down to the question, will we see a pull and will we see a down on the Survivor over here? There's going to be one tag onto Fruit. There's the save across the way. So this is actually becoming really, really dramatic. A last second decision between DKD and the Ruby Wolves. Fruit is running up towards the main building, trying to make a move. The H into the boxes here. I wouldn't be surprised if an exit gate is ready on the way. The blink into Fruit going down in the main building here. 9 stages would be up. You can see the pressure onto the killer. He's going for a slug.
Remind me though, isn't Fruit the only non-death hook right now?
I am not sure.
Oh, but you got the down here onto the knee. We do have to keep in mind that this survivor was just recently on the shoulders, and she slapped
the pickup! The pickup!
Up across the way. That's the unbreakable. That's 1, 2. Now the question is, which way are the... No way.
They might get that. They might get that with the unbreakable and the flashlight assist blinking back. It might be a slug into too much risk being taken here, and DKD switching from a potential win or at least tie into a loss. There would be such a turn last second here between Ruby Wolves and DKD. Ace rotating towards the bottom side. They're going for a hedge play. Our killer needs to realize that as longer the Ace is not located, he needs to realize that with Dan waiting in the map, it's going to be a hatch play. This is so close and dramatic.
Yeah, this is really tough because, of course, if the nurse were to go right back, oh, he's right there at the hatch. Fruit's got this. That's gonna be the hatch opening. This is gonna be the stages that you need to get out. That's wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Able to do what you need to do in trial number 4 here. Wow, that's. Oh my goodness gracious. We're talking about a difference of 3 points for this set here. Ruby Wolves going 3 points with 36. DKD only 33, meaning Ruby Wolves take set point number 2. Wow.
This was insane. This was absolutely insane here, from a potential win with the slug all the way towards a loss. That is so unfortunate here for DKD. They played an amazing nurse game on their killer side here. It was one of the closest matches in Blood Moon League so far. Last second decision coming out here. Ruby Wolves sticking together and then pulling under pressure, pulling this insane hatch play there. Really, really impressive.
That is definitely going to be one of those finishes that I know that you and I are going to be talking about for a while now. That was really impressive, and I think the big thing is seeing the fight from Ruby Wolves and just keeping cool, calm, and collect. We were worried there before that 5th gen popped. We had talked about, right? They can only give up one more hook state, and from there to do all of that in the end to still walk out with 4 stages. That's. I don't have any other words than that. That was so impressive to watch.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you.